Hello everyone, I'm Tomie and I teach the Web and Graphic Design Diploma and Level 5 online blended. For this course here, I would like to talk to you all about how you can create the sticky note purely using HTML and CSS. So let's dive right in. So what you want firstly is you want to have the base code structure for your HTML before we can get started. So just make sure you have the HTML head, body, and the metadata, meta information, and the head. So I'm just having the title as well as linking my external typeface into my HTML document here, as well as making sure you link your style.css to your document too. And after that, I have coded through the base structure of the HTML, and we got main key components. Here are A side, the div, and the P elements is the ones that we need to consider. So the A side is the main parent. The two divs are one div at the top is for the tape and the other div is for the memo pad. I'm just adding classes here to determine the namings of these elements. After that, we are targeting the body in our CSS and we'll be using this square image as the repeated pattern of the background. So I'm just linking that image, and as you can see here, it has been repeated as a background in the preview on the right hand side. And I'm just adding a background color just to kind of give a bit more of the blue background. For now, I've just left it dark, but we'll change it back to light later on. And I'm just linking through the font family of Patrick Hand into my document. And in now targeting the main, I am targeting the main and just adjusting the height and the flexing, so just making sure things are in the center as well. Next, I am targeting the P tag, which is the paragraph tag, and changing the font size to 3em and the letter spacing, which is the kerning, to 0.1ems. After that, I've just added the opacity of 70% as well. And then I've added and targeted the sticky note as a class, so dot meaning the class, and then sticky hyphen note, and then play around with the position, change it to relative, display, flex, and then changing around with the flex, played around the flex direction column, and then align hyphens item center. This one here, this code will be useful towards the end, so that's why I've commented out. To comment out any code, just hit command / and then that should be able to comment out any code. If you're using a window, it will be control / But next, I have the sticky note tape. I'm targeting, again, position relative. I've played around the Z index. So when I say Z index 1, it is basically going to be above. So all values of the Z index is by default is like 0. So anything that's bigger than 0, meaning it's going to appear on the top. I've also made sure play around with the width and height for my tape. So I have a width of 5ems and a height of 2ems. Background color of using the RGBA value of the blue color, and the last value of A represents the alpha, which is the transparency, which I have a 0.2, meaning 20%, and the rotation of 97 degrees, as well as the drop shadow, so box shadow of the play around the X and Y position, 0 and 1, 0.1 meaning the X and Y position, and in 0.5 is the blur radius. And then I've also added the border just to give a subtle edge around my tape. Next, I am targeting the memo paper, and for the memo paper, I'm just going to also define width and height. I want to keep it square, so I'm just going to say 15ems by 15ems, and I want to have a background color, and I want this yellow color, which is this hex code here on the screen. And I'm going to have display flex turned on just so that I can center things the way I want. I just want to center everything in the middle, nicely in place there. So just say justify hyphen content center and align hyphen item center. And also having a box shadow, just give a bit of a drop shadow in the background of my post-it note. Cool, and just make sure it's a dot and not a comma. So now I have a 20% drop shadow on my memo pad, and I'm just playing around with the percentage for the tape as well. Feel free to adjust to your liking. And for the border radius, so basically the corners, I just want to have a subtle slight curving around the edges, around the corners, so I've just done that there. And in the transform, I just rotated around in the z-axis by -3 degrees. And just uncomment the sticky note that we have commented out before, just so we can basically center everything in the middle. So there you have it. Hopefully that was a useful tutorial, and do let us know if you have any questions. Otherwise, good luck and happy coding.